Am I the butthole for insisting a restaurant remake my order? I went out to a fancy burger place recently. Part of USP was that you could add things to your burger, like cheese or an extra patty. I order and make some alterations like the sauce and 2 extra patties because I was hungry and feeling greedy and the indulgent that day. It was a huge, decadent burger. However, this burger came by default with tomatoes. Now, I'm allergic to tomatoes, nothing fatal but my face puffs up and I get a sore throat. This happens even if I eat something that tomatoes have touched, so removing them doesn't work. I expressly asked the waitress to not add tomatoes to my food, saying that I'm allergic. When the food comes, there are tomatoes in my burger. Due to the above reasons, I asked them to take it back and make a new one. The restaurant refused, saying that they'd used a lot of ingredients for my burger so they couldn't do me another without charging me for both. I say it's their fault because I'd specifically requested no tomatoes at time of order. They told me to just remove the slices myself, but I refused due to cross-contamination. When they refused to remake the burger, I put down enough for the drink I'd had and left the building. I thought I'd acted reasonably, but my girlfriend says that I should have paid for both because I could afford it and that a custom order would be expensive for the restaurant. I think that's insane, especially as I warned them about the tomatoes thing well in advance and that it was their fault I'd be paying for. Not the butthole that's a huge liability for the restaurant to not take your food allergy seriously. This. Also, what is wrong with your girlfriend? Probably being considerate to the fact restaurants are struggling right now. But, still, it was their mistake. They should have been more careful following direction. Yeah, well, now they've cost themselves a customer rather than cost price of a burger. They also cost themselves the price of a burger. They also cost themselves the price of a burger. The price of a custom burger. Hey, yeah. They were probably pissed they couldn't save it for someone else. I am extremely confident that an underpaid chef got a nice supper. When I was a pizza delivery driver, my boss hated when people would make prank calls for pizzas. But as much as it sucked trying to deliver them, we tended to get to keep the pizza since we didn't get a tip. The best was when I had a Friday night shift. I was stuck working and someone called in 5 pizzas right before the end of the night, and it turned out the house didn't exist. So my boss told me I could take them home. I showed up at a friend's party like 20 minutes later looking like a effing hero. XD. I'd like to think restaurant staff wouldn't eat food after it has touched a table. No one I work with would. Especially during a pandemic. Then you must have not worked in many restaurants. A lot of employees would eat the leftovers too. Unfortunately, I doubt it. Partly because a lot of places refuse to let staff eat anything if they haven't paid for it, and also with COVID going around, not sure it would be ideal to be snacking on food that had left the kitchen and been to a customer. Not that that would be particularly hygienic at the best of times, but not now anyway. And a bad review probably. I should hope so. I'm scared that if the waitress was sneaky and took it back, all she would do is take them off, wait 5 minutes and bring it back to pretend it's a new one. This needs a bad review so someone doesn't die. Not the butthole. I've had that happen. And ended up in the hospital. We've had a similar incident here once, and the waitress was charged with attempted murder, which unfortunately did not stick. It should, because if you've been made aware of the allergy, you accept the outcome. My ex-sister-in-law actually gave me spaghetti sauce with mushrooms in it. When I had to go to the hospital, she said she thought that I had been fussy. I hate that woman. My in-laws have poisoned me intentionally more than once. And then bitched because I caused a scene needing my EpiPen for my closing throat. And I was an attention whore for going to the hospital after I'd given myself the medicine already. Lady, I have to go to the hospital and get checked because I used the pen, especially because I have a heart condition. I'm really glad she's dead. I hope that rhymes with which paid for your medical bill. This happens. Which is why I always check for traces. Luckily, tomato leaves juice and seeds, so it's pretty easy to spot if they pull that one. And this, of course, is also why they need to make new food if they screw up. Though struggling is not an excuse to refuse to make another burger because they ignored the allergy. When a customer orders food a specific way, then make it exactly as they order it or risk having to remake it. Original poster: I would speak to the manager, or if it's a chain restaurant, Email corporate. They need to know their employees are ignoring customers' orders and refusing to make it right. Yeah, that's super weird, and, even if they are struggling, restaurants throw out tons of food a day, and I doubt this dude's burger was the first instance of that during the shift. Nor the last if they can't follow simple, explicit directions. If that's how they treat their customers, they deserve to go under. Not to mention allergies usually get worse with more exposure. It's basically your immune system overreacting. The more it's exposed to the allergen, the more it reacts. So sure, usually your face gets puffy and a scratchy throat, but next time it could close your throat. Seriously. Even little allergies aren't something to play with. Also not the butthole. So sure, usually your face gets puffy and a scratchy throat, but next time it could close your throat. Seriously. Even little allergies aren't something to play with. Just commented something similar based on my own personal experience. I'm allergic to peppers and usually just have a minor reaction, but every so often, I have a major reaction. And I've realized that no matter how great salsa is, it's no reason to chance it. I'm guessing that they think that he just didn't like tomatoes, versus actually being allergic. I've been accused of just not liking spicy things and had people suggest that I remove jalapenos, etc. It seems cross-contamination doesn't exist to the folks that don't believe you're telling the truth. I'm allergic to tomatoes and peppers. The only person to ever believe it was an allergy and not just a dislike was someone who was also allergic to peppers. You are the first person that I have encountered that is also allergic to peppers. Did you develop the allergy or have you always been allergic? Mine developed in HS, along with an allergy to artificial sweeteners around the same time. I can have bell peppers without dying. That's it though. I avoided peppers growing up because my main symptom was that it burned my mouth and I'd get the itchy throat. I just thought peppers were spicy and I couldn't handle spice for the longest time until someone told me bell peppers aren't spicy. As some other commenters mentioned, it progressively got worse as I tried to eat them and now includes hives, and symptoms of intolerance, digestive issues, if I actually ingest them. This is the same if they are raw or cooked. With tomatoes, at least I only have the super negative reaction if they are raw or like whole. If I have a super processed and cooked sauce, it's more of just the intolerance symptoms. Tomatoes definitely developed in my early 20s. I also had severe lactose intolerance for most of college. Bodies are weird. Holy crap, are you telling me that everyone doesn't get a burning mouth/itchy burning throat with peppers? I thought that was something literally everyone had when eating peppers? I don't get it so much when I cook them until they are soggy and as limp as spaghetti, but anything short of cooked to death makes my mouth burn. That's normal, right? Eating peppers should give you a similar reaction to eating raw cucumber, if that helps you. My fiancé, allergic to peppers and onions. All peppers, even sweet ones, though not as severe. And we have a new allergy to almonds. It's ridiculous how hard it is to get people to take them seriously. And the below poster's artificial sweetener, sucralose being the worst. I'm not allergic to chili peppers, but I am allergic to sweet peppers/bell peppers, and the extent to which restaurants and prepared food brands want to put that crap in every dish and then not disclose it on the menu infuriates me. It's a nightmare. You tell people I'm allergic to peanuts and they totally get it. You tell them I'm allergic to bell peppers and they just gape at you like a fish, and then half the time your food comes with peppers anyway. Unfortunately, people who have a preference call it an allergy and make life more dangerous for people with real allergies. My daughter is celiac, and while the fad of people eating gluten-free has vastly increased gluten-free choices, people ordering gluten-free food and regular beer at the same time, or a gluten-free main and regular dessert, leads servers to believe it's not serious. Oh yeah, I totally get it. I had a roommate in college that told people that she was allergic to cherries and strawberries because she didn't like them. It was particularly offensive to me, given that I had actual allergies. I would have a hard time keeping quiet about that. Some table service restaurants will ask allergy or preference so they know to clean the grill, use separate utensils, etc. This annoys the hell out of me because I have a legit strawberry allergy and it's in so much stuff and they don't have it on the label. A friend bought a raspberry trifle from the supermarket and in the jelly layer, there was halved strawberries. I'm always met with disbelief because I can't possibly be allergic to strawberries. It's basically like poking a bear with a stick. The first 50 times your immune system might be like, that was annoying, but eventually it's going to snap and maul your face off. If I react to something once, I avoid it in the future if at all possible. Both my wife and I have started developing worsening allergies as we get older, and it's never worth the risk. Not to mention, allergies usually get worse with more exposure. I can unfortunately attest to that. 2 weeks of stomach cramps because I forgot to throw the spaghetti I'm allergic to and my partner thought I had. My friend works at Starbucks and has said that 3 people have been fired from her store in the last year and a half for ignoring substitution requests for drinks, putting dairy milk in a drink when almond milk has been requested, etc. One of the cases turned out to be a girl who would put a mix of whole milk and almond milk instead of just almond milk in her ex's drink every time he came through the drive-thru because she knew he was really lactose intolerant. It came out at a work party when she was drunk and she was fired the next day. OMG. That's so dangerous. I'm happy she was fired, but poor customer. I've been given dairy when I'm intolerant, and it messed me up for a week. I'm lactose intolerant and I don't even go to Starbucks anymore because they're so careless with cross-contamination. I went in a couple of years back to get a soy chai and was very clear that I'm severely lactose intolerant. Get the drink and drink maybe 1/3 of it and start to feel that horrible stomach feeling. Spent the next 24 hours in the bathroom. Called Starbucks to let them know I literally missed a day of work because of it. They review security footage and confirm yes, it was accidentally whole milk. They offered me a $10 off my next drink coupon and I was like, yeah, no, I'm never going to Starbucks again because they clearly don't train the employees to respect allergies enough. They used to have dedicated pour cups for the different types of milk to help prevent cross-contamination, and then they decided to change it because of reasons? Like because we can't guarantee 100%, no cross-contamination, we aren't even going to try anymore. And you'd have to ask them to use the non-dairy one. I would watch, too. COVID has made me realize how nice it is to eat everything at home and not stress about allergens. A Starbucks barista was incredibly sarcastic to my daughter when she ordered a drink with a dairy-free alternative. My daughter is not allergic and didn't say she was, but the barista said, "You know there's a little bit of dairy in the syrup, right? I wouldn't want you to end up dead on the floor." Jesus. Some people have a preference too. Just because they ordered a drink with, say, almond milk, doesn't mean they are allergic to dairy, but they might prefer it made with almond milk. No need to get nasty about it. It was a very odd overreaction. Starbucks actively promotes their non-dairy alternatives, and charges extra. I almost always get my lattes with almond milk. Love the bonus flavor and lighter feeling. What the heck? It blows my mind that some restaurants don't teach employees these things. My first job was at Tim Hortons, and whenever someone wanted a bagel with peanut butter, we literally had a special area for peanut butter orders where the surface/utensils could only interact with peanut butter and absolutely nothing else, to make sure someone who wanted a normal bagel didn't die from peanut cross-contamination. Gloves would be swapped, counters cleaned, hands washed, the whole shebang. Pain in the ass, but no one complained. I always imagined other places would at the very minimum educate their staff to take precaution and truly instill it. Weird. The last case is poisoning, which is a felony. There is a post some time ago of a smug vegan that got jailed because she tried to teach a lesson to roommates by feeding them vegan bacon after repeatedly being asked if it was bacon. The original poster got an allergic reaction to the soja and the vegan bacon, and the vegan roommate was convicted for poisoning. She lost her scholarship, was expelled from university, did some jail time, and had now a felony record preventing her to be hired for most jobs. Holy crap. That's definitely a fireable offense. Right, you do not play with people's health. Pro tip: if you find yourself in a similar situation, keep the wrong order at the table until the new order is brought out. That way it truly gets remade, not just scraped. Not the butthole. They gave you something you couldn't eat and didn't order. You told them and they did it anyway. You have them a chance to rectify the situation. They declined. You left. I think your girlfriend was embarrassed by the situation because she may not be comfortable with any kind of conflict. So she places the blame on you because you're a variable that she can influence. But her blame is misplaced and off the mark here. I also wonder if she was sitting there wondering what she was going to eat or how she was supposed to handle her meal. Original poster replies: "No, I was alone during this. We'd made plans for both of us to go, but she got called into work suddenly. Instead of sitting alone at home, I decided to go by myself. Okay, I read it as she was eating with you. Yes, she should have backed you up then. Please try to contact the owner. If the waitress had been quicker in thought, she may have just removed the tomatoes in the back, waited 5 minutes, and returned the same burger to you. Judging by here/chef's attitude, if the owner doesn't see an issue with how they handled it, you should write a bad review to warn others. As someone with allergies that take time to be noticeable, I would be long gone by the time they hit. Not the butthole, your girlfriend is also a butt. That's exactly what I would have been concerned about. It could be that the way you related the story made you sound rude but obvious bad if you told them in advance. I've been very chill about stuff at restaurants, but allergies are a hard stop, pandemic or not. Yeah, then, there's really no excuse for her reaction. I've been in restaurants before with high-maintenance family members that have embarrassed the hell out of me, and your story would be a very different one if you were rude and belligerent while making your request. But she wasn't even there? That makes a big difference. This is spot on. People who are very uncomfortable with any kind of conflict will always prefer that you give in. It is about them, not anything you did wrong. The restaurant is being short-sighted. Let's be honest, the cost of the ingredients is not that much. The food costs what it costs because someone is making it for you, not because the ingredients actually cost that much. I mean, not that it won't add up over time, but if they are making that many mistakes, then they need to have better training and a system to catch errors. If they never have to eat the cost of their mistakes, then they won't come up with a better system to catch them. I think your girlfriend was embarrassed by the situation because she may not be comfortable with any kind of conflict. So she places the blame on you because you're a variable that she can influence. This is such an insightful description of conflict-averse people. Not the butthole. Yeah, my partner has done that for precisely that reason. Everyone's looking at us. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.